Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our session, Green Financing, Funding a Sustainable Future. My name is Grzegorz Galusek, and I'm very excited to moderate this discussion. And today we hope to demonstrate that microfinance is not just following the green trends, but also actively shaping it. And we'll explore three different angles of green finance in action, and we'll have 1 hour for that. For all of you that participate in this session, we of course welcome your questions. Please write them in the chat box. I will follow the chat, and every now and then we'll ask our speakers to respond to your questions. We will start our journey with finance in motion, and they will share the experience in empowering rural MFIs and farmers in the Balkans to embrace sustainable agriculture. Then we will also see how FIBO in Romania is bringing green finance into the digital age with the innovative AI chatbot, proving that sometimes the best way to discuss green solution is with a bit of artificial intelligence. And finally, we'll deep quite literally with FIRE Romania, who are revolutionizing farming practices with their soil testing project. So we have 4 wonderful speakers today. Let me now introduce them. Let me first extend a warm welcome to Amra Amragic. Amra is investment manager at Finance in Motion. Next, we will have the opportunity to hear from Robert Maftei and Alexandra Grecu. Both are from FIBO Group. Robert is deputy CEO of FIBO Group, while Alexandra is business analyst there. And finally, a very warm welcome to Julia Puskas, who's already been interviewed by our colleagues. Julia is external relations manager at FIRE Romania. And yes, we'll focus her presentation on the soil testing project, for which FIRE has just received a recognition from the NFC. So thank you, Julia, for agreeing to share your insights with us today, especially considering your time for the interview today. I should also mention, thanks. I should also mention that today's webinar is sponsored by SIPTA. Most of you are already familiar with SIPTA. It's a technical assistance project sponsored by the EU and implemented by the European Investment Bank, managed by the European Investment Bank, and implemented by 3 institutions, and that is the Microfinance Center that I'm part of, also the European Microfinance Network and the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management. And it provides free of charge, that's probably the most important thing, technical assistance and other mutual learning opportunities for institutions that are part of this system. So thank you, SIPTA, so much for sponsoring this. There'll be another one sponsored by SIPTA, another session which is about smart technologies in microfinance in about 2 hours. Very good. Let's then hear from our distinguished speakers what sort of innovation, green innovation, they bring to microfinance. And I would like to kick off this session with Amra and the Finance in Motion sustainable agricultural project in the Balkans. So Amra, the floor is yours.
Okay, so yes, I'm representing Finance in Motion. Finance in Motion is impact asset manager, and Finance in Motion is managing funds with impact. Currently, it's managing 6 funds all around the globe. And sustainable agriculture is a very important topic for Finance in Motion. So currently, 2 funds are quite engaged in this topic. Eco Business Fund, which is operating in Latin America, they are exclusively focused on biodiversity and sustainable use of natural resources. They also cover microfinance. And the fund that I will be representing today is EFSE, or the European Fund for Southeast Europe, which is operating in the region of Southeast Europe. And this fund is focused on entrepreneurship and MSME development. However, the topic of sustainable agriculture is becoming more and more important for EFSE as well. So first of all, how we define sustainable agriculture. It's the type of agriculture that focuses on production of crops and livestock while having minimum effects on the environment. Of course, there are social and economic benefits of sustainable agriculture, and this is mainly to do with improvement of livelihoods of farmers. What we see a lot globally, it's the effects of climate that are already quite severe. In our region, also in Central Europe, we were able to see a lot of droughts and floods this year, especially Austria, but also in the Balkans. And this has increased the pests and diseases in the affected areas due to high temperature rises and very heavy rainfalls. And this is also impacting the farmer production, farmer yield, and animal health. We think that driving positive change through sustainable agriculture can have benefits, and this is why this year we have developed a green list, which is actually an eligibility check for sustainable agricultural measures. And we are extending these green lists to our partners. So today I will be presenting to you what the green list is and how it actually is being used in practice to prove that a certain measure given to the final borrower qualifies as a measure of sustainable agriculture. Before we dive into that, I also wanted to just give you a quick overview of what Finance in Motion and EFSE Development Facility have supported during the year. So we have conducted market studies in various countries. We have also developed green lists for 5 countries: Romania, Armenia, Bosnia, North Macedonia, and Kosovo. Green lists are quite similar across the countries. Let's say 80% of the sustainable agricultural measures are the same across the region, but there is this 20% that we adjust to the specific countries.
Andrea, excuse me, can you maybe remind us what is a green list? I didn't quite catch it.
So the green list is the eligibility check on how a certain loan that is given to a final borrower can qualify as a sustainable agricultural measure. And I will keep going through the green lists in details very soon. So what we do in EFSE this year, we have provided 8 targeted credit lines, including microfinance institutions, with this sustainable agriculture on lending requirement, which means that the institutions are required to now report to us that they are really applying the sustainable agricultural measures in their loan portfolio. We are also supporting workshops and trainings for staff and farmers. Now I will present to you the green list. As I said, this is eligibility check for sustainable agricultural measures. We have divided the green list into 28, so it's about 28 to 30 defined measures, and these are divided into 6 categories. So the first category is the sustainable soil and land management. Second is the resource efficiency in inputs. Then it's resource efficiency in water, sustainable certification, circular agriculture, and livestock farming. So if we have a look here, so the first set of measures have to do with sustainable soil and land management. So the first measure is reduced tillage. So the reduced tillage means tillage with less intensity, shallower depth, and less area disturbed through mechanical intervention. So if you can have a look at the picture on the right-hand corner, what we are asking for is to have a minimum 50% of cultivated area where the reduced tillage is implemented. So what this does to the soil, it promotes soil health by enhancing its natural chemical, physical, and biological properties. It can also reduce soil erosion, and thus it is contributing to the sustainability of the farm. So eligible investments would be some combined cultivators, subsoilers, so the machinery that the farmer would buy for this particular measure. And how do we actually check? It's the column vetting. How do we check that the farmer is actually using this measure? They can provide an invoice for the relevant machinery or the equipment, also a sworn statement, or we can do a monitoring field visit at the farm. So primarily we ask for invoice, but we see that sometimes in some markets where we have microfinance, this is not really realistic. So then in that case, the monitoring and also the sworn statement by the farmer can also be eligible to prove this measure.
I have quickly checked the word tillage, with which I was not very familiar. I asked Gemini, and basically it says, and it's I'm saying this to people who are not familiar with agriculture, that tillage is actually the agricultural preparation of soil by mechanical agitation of various types, such as digging, stirring, and overturning. It's a common practice to prepare the soil for planting seeds and cultivating crops. So it's basically preparing soil for cultivation. Okay.
Yeah. So what it makes it sustainable is if the farmer is now using this special machinery where the soil will be less disturbed. So all the microbiome can also be kept within the soil. Second measure is cover cropping. As you see on the picture, this is the practice of growing a secondary crop in between two cash crops. And this is a crop not to be harvested, but to be incorporated in the soil or to be left on top of the soil as mulch. So what this does to the soil is actually it creates less dependency on the synthetic fertilizers and pesticides. It also gives a positive impact to the soil health, and it also increases biodiversity. This could apply to certain crops such as peas, mustard, soybean, chickpea, beans, lentils, and so on. The list is actually longer, but here I just provided some main crops for you to have a bit of a feeling of what it is. Eligible investments would be equipment for cover crop termination and on-farm cover crop seed production. A third measure is diversified crop rotation. This means the succession of 3 different crop species on at least one pilot of land. To be eligible, a minimum of 0.2 hectares need to be cultivated for this measure to be eligible. What this does to the soil is it's actually an adaptation measure to climate change. It's lowering the pressure of pests and diseases, and it promotes soil microbial diversity. Equipment are also eligible investments for this one. Protein crop production means cultivation of leguminous species with high protein content, and this is like soybeans, peas, chickpeas, lentils, peanuts. And what it does to the soil is actually these specific leguminous species have ability to naturally capture the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil, making the soil less reliant on external synthetic fertilizers. So this is why this is a sustainable measure as well. Number 5, intercropping. It's a cultivation of at least 2 crop species in between each other in the same time, or also overlapping in a short period of time. So what it does to the soil, it reduces the use of pesticides. It also encourages biodiversity. So these would be the measures. I have here 5, but there's a few more, and they have to do with the soil and land management. If we move on, we also have some measures in the resource efficiency. So when it comes to inputs, number 6 is the liquid fertilization for root nutrition. What this is the use, it means the use of fertilizers in liquid form for application at the soil level. And what it does to the plants, it actually gives better absorption of nutrients by plants, and it also reduces the risk of dry condition. This also avoids nutrient waste and pollution of air and underground water. So the plants can better absorb what is needed, and there's less waste and pollution. Eligible investments are liquid fertilizers, liquid manure injection equipment, and so on. Number 6, it's digital agriculture, or what we call AgTech. So integration of information technology, data analytics, sensors, and also automation across various aspects of farming. And this can include agricultural drones, for example, also climate control software in greenhouse production, tractor GPS systems, and so on. In fact, any digital tools can help farmers to optimize their production inputs and therefore reduce the environmental footprint of the farm. It also increases resource efficiency. Number 8, sustainable protected agriculture. It's the measure where the farmer uses protection of crops from hail, frost, or reduction of diseases and pests. So on the picture here, you have an example of a netting against hail. So it's it could be a multi-layered plastic or polycarbonate greenhouse cover with better insulation and longer durability. Could be netting for protection against hail, heat, and pests. What it does, it gives more efficient crop protection and also less use of irrigation water. It provides enhanced productivity to the farmer. So this is on the inputs. When it comes to water efficiency, what is eligible is water use efficient irrigation, because it helps to monitor water use and increase irrigation efficiency. Less water per unit produced improves the water footprint on the farm and also improves energy consumption. So some examples here would be the sprinkler irrigation systems, drip irrigation systems, water pumps, and so on. Number 10 is on-farm water storage. So if the farmers are collecting, for example, rainwater and storing it on the farm, it also increases the capacity of water storage. Some examples are also water pumps when used with water harvesting or recycling storage systems. And these are also eligible because they are also contributing to water harvesting, recycling, and storing, which are all sustainable agricultural practices. And then we also have sustainable certification. First of all, organic agriculture. So if the farmer is committed to obey a set of rules according to the organic principles and EU regulation, and they are replacing use of synthetic inputs, this is organic farming. Of course, this is also eligible because it promotes soil health and it increases food safety for consumers. Number 12 is the global GAP or any other sustainable certification. If the farmer has proof for that, it demonstrates their commitment to use good agricultural practices that are contributing to safer and healthier food. Circular agriculture. Here we have waste reduction as measure number 13. So this is anything to do with solutions aimed at reducing on-farm waste. So, for example, as you see here on the picture, could be the compost turning machine or equipment. Could be also organic waste shredder, and it's also considered sustainable because it prevents waste pollution. Number 14, solar energy production, so anything to do with solar energy, use of solar energy on farming. As you can see on the picture, green energy has a lower carbon footprint compared to fossil fuels, so this is also eligible. It could include solar panels, batteries, inverters, and similar equipment. Number 15 is the farm product processing. So this means transformation of primary agricultural products on the farm and producing final products actually in another form for the final beneficiary. So this means that the production is now internalized within the farm, which leads to higher efficiency and profit margins for the farmers. It also allows farmers to become less vulnerable to external market factors, and it's also considered eligible. It could include juicing equipment, for example, meat processing equipment, grinding mill, and so on. And lastly, livestock farming. Adequate animal shelters is also eligible sustainable agricultural measure. It provides appropriate housing for animals, including also ventilated spaces, as well as relevant biosecurity measures in order to support a general well-being of animals and increasing their physical and mental health. Some of the examples would be ventilators for animal shelters. So when using ventilators, the space per animal must comply with minimum space requirements. For example, for chickens, this is maximum of 10 chickens per square meter indoors. This approach is also improving animal welfare and it's reducing impacts of the adverse climate conditions, and it's also considered eligible. So this is in the nutshell. Yes.
Because we are running.
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
But the thing is, what now the question would be, what do you do with this list? Just how you work with, just how do MFIs and
yes. So
MFIs and farmers. I think
yes, so we are providing, EFSA is providing trainings, first of all, to loan officers on sustainable agriculture, on climate change effects. Same trainings are provided also to farmers, and they are being taught on what the sustainable farming is and what these measures are. So both loan officers and farmers will be building their capacities on the topic. So once the loan is approved, the loan officer would check if it's eligible on this list, and then it will be reported as sustainable agricultural measure within their portfolio, but also to us as a lender.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you give farmers, do MFIs give farmers certain time to comply with the list?
Yes, okay. We are currently in a piloting phase with certain institutions in the region, and we are currently in the phase where we are just promoting. Actually, and next year we are planning to do a lot more to actually engage more institutions in the topic and to try and push a bit more in the topic.
Okay, super, excellent. A new set of standards, green,
yes,
agricultural sustainable standards. A lot to comply.
Yes,
but that's our new reality. Let's now move to Robert and Alex from Filbo, and let's let's hear from them about this wonderful AI-based chatbot called Hermina. Robert, over to you.
Hi, greetings from Filbo team.
Thank you.
Alexandra will help me with the presentation. So we are basically going to share our presentation between two parts. I will tell you a little bit about Filbo Group, our fintech group from Romania, and I will, in the second part, Alexandra will tell you more and also present you the entire Hermina project. Hermina, it's a very nice name, and it's close to our soul, not only being the name of one of our ex-colleague, but also as regarding the project that we are going to present you. Filbo, it's basically the digital brand of our group. A little bit some comments about our history. We are acting in the microfinance environment in Romania for 30 years. So this year, our oldest entity reached 30 years of experience. Omro, it's an NBFI, so we are financing small entrepreneurs in a traditional way and related with launching of Filbo brand also in a digital way. So we are basically shift from the traditional way of interacting between entity, financing entity and clients to a more digitalized way. But behind any of those digital interactions, there are always human. So the colleagues are available to help any potential clients in any step of the interaction with the clients. So we have the financing entity, 30 years, as I said. The second pillar of our group is EasyBill. It's invoice, digital invoice entity, as well as the first entity special designed to support small entrepreneurs from Romania. And Filbo Pay, it's the newest entity in our group. We received in the first part of this year a e-money license from National Bank of Romania, and all those three business line will evolve in the next year in a integrated product, helping micro clients to get access to financing, day-to-day invoicing management, and an account. So to open an account and mobile banking offered by Filbo Pay. We are acting, as I said, in the micro environment, small farmers or small entities, small businesses from rural or small villages. And we do understand that in order to make a real impact, if we are referring to energy transition and the transition to a better environment, we are going to face two main challenges. One is regarding about knowledge, the lack of knowledge, especially on those small businesses about the implications of energy transition. And we said that it's good to support them via education approach. And the second layer, it's about the money. So any of those investments or the shift from a traditional way to a more nature-friendly way to address business, it's about the money. So we said we are going to support via education and via specialized way of loans, special design to support the transition. And we, in order to do this, we implemented we developed and implemented Hermina. And Alexandra will explore and give you a lot of details about that in the following moments. Hermina, it's our AI chatbot. So chatbot developed internally. It's a specialized way of chatbot helping supporting any potential client to learn about to respond to different questions with regards energy transition. And in order to help that, we saw that it's a good idea to take some use cases, to start with some use cases, and step by step to add additional use cases, just in order to cover step by step with the real valuable information all the ESG perspective. As I said, Filbo Green Loan are basically a new type of loans developed internally in order to support all those clients that are interested not only to learn more about the transition to a more sustainable economy, but also to invest. All that project was developed internally, but for sure with strong support from Microfinance Center and Ceres, and with funding from TTF. What I'd like to highlight, that being my last comment, and I will pass after that to Alexandra, is the following statement. We saw different type of solution in which basically the clients are directed to sales, and we saw, let's stay focused on education. Let's try to develop this chatbot as a solution to respond on different questions that a small entrepreneur might have. And if he or she might be interested in financing, to offer the lending solution, but it's not mandatory. And you will see it's something to be available, to be involved in this solution, but not mandatory. So it's mainly about education. Alexandra.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexandra and I'm a business analyst and marketing specialist here at Filbo, and I was also the product owner for this project for Hermina chatbot and the Filbo Green Loan. And for the following minutes, I will present to you a little about the implementation, the implementation of the Hermina chatbot. And after my presentation, let's chat with Hermina so that you can see a little about or we can you can convince yourself a little about her capabilities. It took us 6 months to create the first MVP. As you can see from this timeline, from February to July, we focused on the research and development of Hermina chatbot and Filbo Green Loan. Also, I would like to emphasize here that we didn't have any prior experience on creating chatbots. So we really invested a lot on the research part. And 3 months ago, on July 31st, we launched our first MVP. And since then, we have been testing, fine-tuned the chatbot, gathered feedback from users, and of course, we have been promoting Hermina a lot. And for the future, of course, we want to improve Hermina so that more and more businesses will learn about sustainability, because as Robert said, it's not just about giving green loans, it's about educating people. Now focusing on the research on this 6-month period where we researched how to create this chatbot and we developed this chatbot. Hermina is built using the latest technologies, ChatGPT 4o, Azure Bot Service, OpenAI, and it's a chatbot hosted in the cloud. Also, Hermina was trained on a lot of documents, different sustainability articles from official websites, EU taxonomy, ESG frameworks. And also during these 6 months, we connected with different green partners from Romania. And so that Hermina can recommend to users these partners. And of course, we gathered feedback from users and we tested and fine-tuned the chatbot a lot, really. So for these 3 months, we have over 90 conversations, and also we granted 3 green loans. And the average number of messages per conversation is 12, 5-6 sent by the user and 5-6 sent by the client. No, the chatbot sent by Hermina, sorry. So 12, an average of 12 messages per conversation. Now, before having a conversation with Hermina, a real conversation with Hermina, I just want to show you some funny messages sent by our clients. People ask her about, I don't know, dating advice, or if she's how to say, if she's single. But anyway, the idea is that for all these messages, Hermina has detects that these messages are not related to the sustainability domain, and she says that she's sorry, our question isn't related to the purpose of this conversation. She's here to help you create, to help us create a better world. And now I will focus on, let's have a conversation, a real conversation with Hermina, without any further, I don't know, comments, let's say, because as you can see, my presentation is really focused on the subject. You can find Hermina is a public chatbot, and you can find Hermina on our website accessing this link, or let me translate this page. Just let me give a refresh. Okay, let me translate in order to understand. Or you can, if you access the website, you can find Hermina at financing solution. It's the last option. With Filbo Green, our clients can borrow up to 1 million RON, which is around 250,000 euros. And also, this loan has a lower preferential interest rate than our standard loans, in order to incentivize people to take these green loans. Here it's the window with the chatbot where Hermina is waiting for our questions, and below Hermina we have a simulator where the client can choose the amount of money they need, and also the loan period, and they can see the costs. Okay, and now coming back to Hermina. Of course, her default language is English, but let's switch. It's Romanian. Sorry, it's Romanian, but let's switch to English. Let's switch to English. Okay. And the first question that Hermina asks us is, which industry are we in? So if we had more time, I would invite you to tell me a domain. But because we don't have time, please, this is a public chatbot. As I said, you can access this link, and I will also send you this link. And you can test yourself. You can test it yourself so that you can see exactly her capabilities. So for today, I will say that I'm working in retail domain, and I have a small shop, let's say, a small shop. Let's see Hermina's answer. Okay. And she asked us then to if we have any specific green project in mind for our shop. And let's say that I don't have one. I don't have one. And Hermina now is trained to give us some options. like solar panels, recycling program, or LED lighting. These are some general projects. And would you like more details on any of these projects? Let's say, I don't know, let's say recycling. I will choose the second option, recycling program. Okay, and see, and okay. And because I said I chose the recycling program, Hermina gives me some steps I can take to implement this project, like set up collecting points, educate staff and customers, partner with a recycling service. And here Hermina tells us about Colecto, which is one of our Romanian green partners. So this is how the conversation goes. Let's say that, in fact, because you can see it. So I have this use case where I don't have a project in mind, but let's say I have one. Let's say that, in fact, I want to install solar panels on the rooftop of my shop, let's say. And let's see what Hermina answers. Here are some, of course, some key steps and benefits. And here, because she detected that I have a project in mind, she asked us if I want more details on financing options or how to get started. As you can see, the client doesn't feel any pressure from Hermina to take any loan. Like this was the first time after, I don't know, 6 or 7 messages with Hermina when she tells us about the Filbo Green Loan. So because her main goal is to educate people, not to convince people to take the green loan. And let's say that, yes, please, I want some to know more about the financing options. And she tells us about our green loan, where to apply, how to apply. And also, as you can see here, she doesn't give just this option of our option. She also tells us about different government incentives or leasing options. So yeah, that's if I want to ask her a question that is not related to the sustainability domain. For example, what is your costume for, I don't know, costume for this Halloween? Costume, I think I misspelled something, or I don't know, but she tells us that she's here to help us with green initiatives and sustainability projects for our business. Let's focus on how we can make your retail shop more eco-friendly. So she detects that this is not a question related to the sustainability domain, and she tells us that we should focus on the subject of the conversation. So that's pretty much it. I invite you to test this chatbot to see Hermina's capabilities, and if you have any questions, me and Robert are here to answer them. Thank you for your attention.
I said that actually I have a question which maybe we can keep for the end of the session. But the question is, you can think about it right now. You know, whether you also see any other trends in using artificial intelligence to support green finance. So your initiative is really fantastic, but do you see any other trends in using AI in green finance? And I will leave you with this particular question and move now to Julia and ask her to maybe say a few words about the Fire's soil project. So Julia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Our current project on soil management is named Life Through Our Soil. It is funded under the TTF fund program. And I would just like to quickly go through some of our background, so Fire Group's background. You can see in the right, there's a map of Romania and our expansion, sort of speak, a zone of influence now, but also I must mention, so the red area. I must mention that we are also starting to spread outside that area. But what I wanted to underline is the social mission that the MFI is still promoting to this day, meaning to help in regional economic and social development of our local communities through education given to adults, and not only to adults, but also pupils and students. And now we are also focusing more on our green policy and green orientation. This is just some of the outreach throughout the years. I must mention that the foundation started its activity in '92. And in 2005, as well as my colleagues, we've started the MFI. So microfinancing granted into our local communities. Okay, and now moving on to the challenges that we've had over the past few years in implementing a green policy. So we see a challenge in continuing to create courses of educations for farmers regarding good soil management and soil practices on the land. We are present, but we are trying to be even more present in the local communities and continue to help in their economic, social, and educational development. And also continue to create sustainable jobs for the people in these communities. I must mention that we are focusing in rural areas. More than half of our portfolio is involved in this area. And of course, we are trying to promote this green policy as a whole group and the whole company. Okay, and ultimately we will be developing green financial products which are adjusted to the community's needs. So that would be a major end goal to our policy. Moving on, and more specifically to the objectives of our project, which we are currently developing, so Life Through Our Soil project, which I mentioned before. So we have three main objectives. The first one is to create trainings on good soil practices and management, and also to introduce them to notions and principles of circular economy. And our target group for this is 200 farmers from 3 counties in Romania. The second main objective would be to implement basic soil chemical analysis to 100 farmers. This is done over a period of 12 months because we are trying to see the evolution over multiple agricultural cycles and see an initial impact, hopefully, on the plots of lands analyzed. And the third main objective is to do capacity building for our company, meaning that we are trying to involve more of our employees in this activity, and as I've said, move on towards promoting green policy as a whole company, full staff. Okay. And now a little bit of details regarding the 2 main components of the project. So we are talking about the educational component and the practical component. So we are having the trainings, which I mentioned, for the farmers. We are also having Q&A meetings with them to answer the questions regarding their soil test results and explain chemical details from the results. Also, we are in the process of developing 5 e-learning modules. This was not initially foreseen for this project, but we've considered it to be of importance to make sure that even after the project is finished, people interested will still have access to objective and scientific information on our website, which I've already sent the link to in the chat for all of you if you are interested to watch. And also the final part of the educational component would be the capacity building, meaning that parts of our staff will be attending the trainings, which means that they will be better prepared. They will be able to ensure a high quality consultancy to the farmers which will require it in the future. And last but not least is the practical component of the project, meaning the specific collection, analysis, and bringing results to our farmers, so the soil sample analysis. And also we will be doing field visits in good practice farms for approximately 60 farmers out of our beneficiaries. This number is due to lack of time, maybe from our farmers. I must mention that we have to make sure that we program all of our activities, educational and practical, according to seasonality in agriculture. We have to take into account that, for instance, in the summertime, and even in springtime, even in fall, they have the highest activity in their farms. So that is why we've opted to have our formal trainings during late fall and mostly in winter time, so that we ensure a high participation rate in these classes. And just a few more details about each of the objectives. So this is the educational component, which I've already mentioned to you. The new aspect of it would be the digital learning modules to further provide sustainability for our project. And this is the practical component. So why did we choose basic soil analysis? Because most of the beneficiaries in the project have lands of up to 10 hectares in their activity. So having more complex analysis would not be viable, of course, and it would require more time and resources, which are not foreseen in the budget and in the planning for this project. Of course, our purpose would be in the future to potentially upscale this to a higher number of beneficiaries and even expand geographically on this. Since we've had such a good impact and positive impact on the farmers, garnering interest even from people who are not necessarily direct beneficiaries, but interest from immediate family members, neighbors, other farmers. So we've seen a raise in interest regarding this measure of soil testing. Okay, and how do we see our project in the context of microfinance? Why do we have this approach? We've considered implementing this project to ensure that farmers will have a better access to management resources. We will be providing them with notions of farming management, know-how, information on circular economy, which will in turn help them long-term in having better savings rates, better spending habits, and better production levels in their farms. Ultimately, we are aiming to be a objective source of information, which will be scientific, coming from experts with over 20 years working experience in the field. So we are really confident about the source of information which we are providing and ensuring for our beneficiaries, and not only them. And of course, we are trying to continue to bring awareness in local communities on the impact they have with their agricultural practices on the environment, especially on the soil, and making sure that they think more about the final consumer through the activities that they are doing on their land. Through the trainings that we are providing, we will be ensuring them with know-how, develop educational awareness, environmental awareness, better financial choices, and raise awareness on the importance of their activity. So basically, what I've already concluded before this. Here are some images from the activities that we have done so far in the project. We have managed to identify all 100 soil sampling beneficiaries. They will benefit from 2 stages of soil sampling analysis, meaning that the first round has already happened successfully this spring. For all 100s, we have 100 test results with various chemical results from plots of land analyzed. And the same 100 beneficiaries will provide us with the second soil sample in the spring of 2025. This will help us create a statistic and monitor changes or probable changes on chemical structure after the Q&As that they have received, meaning consultancy on the test results. So after the first phase, which was the first soil sampling analysis, they received in majority consultancy, and they were their questions were answered by our environmental expert, and so they can apply if they wish. Of course, we cannot make this a mandatory activity. They can apply the advice that we have given them, and that's how we could see a potential improvement in their results. Okay. Also, we've managed to involve the local national authority in helping us actually conduct the soil analysis. So officially, we have 33 beneficiaries of the Q&As this summer, but I can assure you that we have more at this point since we've passed the point of initial reporting, and we have continued to do the Q&As. And we are continuously trying to increase and encourage them to give a written feedback. We have feedback forms, but so far the feedback that we have received is very positive. They appreciate all the information, the facilitation of soil sampling analysis. They are curious, and they seem eager to apply what they have learned. Just quickly on future endeavors in our project, as I've mentioned, there will be a second phase of soil sampling in the spring of 2025. We will be starting the training sessions in the winter, so probably end of November, going towards February and March of next year. Since in winter time, agricultural activities are more reduced and there's higher availability of the farmers to participate. We will be doing continuous Q&As even in the winter to make sure that our advice and information goes to as many of the beneficiaries willing to attend. We will further do a feedback collection. Also, we are working on, and we will continue to work on, the creation of digital learning modules, which will be available, we hope, pretty soon, or at least next year, on the company's website, on the link that I've provided. So hopefully, if you will follow along, you will see all the developments, articles, and even the digital learning modules in time, if you think this is interesting for you. And also in late winter, we will be doing the field visits that I mentioned, so the practical approach of our trainings. They will actually be invited to see how bigger farms, good practice farms, actually conduct their activity and the best results that they have on their production for having applied scientific principles in agriculture and not working on generational inheritance, so to speak. And then in the end, of course, we will be having a conference, a closing conference for our project to just sum up some conclusions on it.
Super.
Thank you.
Super. Thank you very much, Julia. I have lots of questions in my head. Unfortunately, we're over the time, but I will still like to let Alex maybe answer my questions since I already asked for it. So,
Yes,
about, do you see any other trends in using AI? Or Robert is also back. You guys, can you briefly maybe comment on this? Yes, no, and yes, what?
Yes, the answer is definitely yes. Firstly, about chatbots. We created Hermina on the cloud, so we plan to use that infrastructure to create other chatbots. And some use cases are like we can integrate these chatbots on WhatsApp to answer questions from clients, like when they need to pay something, or to send these chatbots can receive a confirmation that the payment was received by us, and so on. Also, about AI trends, I think you can use AI, and also we don't plan to do this right now, but maybe in the future you can use AI to recognize patterns. For example, you can train AI algorithms on a big database of clients, good and bad clients, clients who pay well, clients who don't pay well. And when a client comes to you, a new client, you can take all the characteristics or the properties or the characteristics of that client, and with that AI algorithms, you can say, okay, this client has a bigger or lower probability to be a bad or a good client. So AI can help you in taking a decision, but we don't think that you can base solely on AI. I mean, yes, AI can help, but not entirely take that decision.
Okay, good. Thank you for
Thank you.
For this additional comment. And yeah, great. We had two great presentations that support sustainable agriculture. I really like this green list, which seems like a super standard for institutions working with farmers. And maybe I encourage all of you, if you're interested when you work with farmers, to reach out to AMRA and maybe try to adapt it to the needs of your institutions. Great effort on FIRE's side to very practically help to implement those sustainable agriculture practices, and a great example of using AI to create a chatbot to educate people on green initiatives. So with this, I would like to ask the participants to evaluate this session. Please take a moment to do that. And at the same time, let me thank Amra, Robert, Julia, and Alex for this wonderful presentation. And the rest of you, for the rest of you, I wish, if you're planning to attend the next sessions, have a very fruitful conference. So thank you so much, and goodbye.